All right. Hey, welcome everybody. I'm Keith Reynolds, founder and CEO of Publio. We're a consulting, training and development and media company that helps CEOs, entrepreneurs, business managers, and business owners to use media to grow their business and surround it with inbound marketing programs. We offer, besides this podcast, training and development and workshops, as well as turnkey consulting done for you. To help stand up your program. And this show is brought to you by the Stanford Symphony, which has a upcoming gala on October 23rd. And they've taken the entire experience of the symphony and put it up online. And so take a look at stanfordsymphony.org and join us for the show. Appreciate your support, and we love working with those guys. I'm here with Jesse Glassberg, producer of this show. Jesse, welcome.
Hey, Keith. How are you today?
Good. I heard you went to a wedding this weekend.
Yeah, an old buddy of mine from high school. I was actually a groomsman for the first time. Very cool. Known him my whole life. So it was very touching to see him and his wife get married.
That's fantastic. Nothing beats a good wedding.
No, nothing does.
All right. Well, we got a great show today, and our guest is Chris Mateo. He's the CEO of I Daydream Studio up in Danbury, Connecticut. And Chris and his team produce video, podcasts. They have a photography studio. They do gaming work and just everything media right in the heart of Danbury and all over the world. It's really amazing to see their team and to work with them. They've helped us put this show together as well. So great partner. It was a good show, right, Jesse?
Oh, yeah. I love Chris. Yeah, I visited their studio about 2 weeks ago. And, I've wanted to do something like that almost my entire life. Obviously podcast production is something I'm really excited about. And these kids have just taken it to a whole nother level that I aspire to get to also. So hearing him talk about it was very inspirational and has definitely given me a whole bunch of ideas.
Well, media today is a really collaborative sport, and they've got a great team. So I'm looking forward to it. Why don't we just roll right into it?
Yeah, let's get going.
All right. See you on the other side. Chris, welcome.
Thank you, Keith. Thank you for having me. I'm excited to be on the Publio podcast, and I'm excited to talk about, our experience working together and all the stuff that we're really passionate about in terms of marketing, digital marketing, content, and all of that type of stuff. It's really what I love to talk about. So let's dive right in. Talk to me.
Very cool. Well, you're CEO of I Daydream Studios. Why don't you tell us a little bit about your company?
So we are a full service production and marketing studio and agency. So what that means is we can produce any type of content from videos, audio, podcasts, or audio music or jingles. We can do photography, whether it's product photography, portraits, things of that nature, as well as writing books, blogs, things of that nature. So we can produce anything. We can also manage and distribute content out. So on your social media platforms, managing content on Instagram, Facebook, YouTube, cutting up content, editing it up to make it commercial ready for advertisements on Instagram and Facebook and YouTube, as well as creating the websites and the funnels and things like that to actually get the conversions, get the sales, get the name, email, and phone number, so then you could be able to sell that person that didn't know you. And now through content, through media, through websites, through photo, video, and through social proof, they become a customer. And that's really what we do is we help small businesses get online, make their first 1,000, 10,000, 100,000 online, and really use the power of digital media, digital marketing to kind of do what they're already doing in real life, which is servicing customers. But just how do we display that? How do we display that out into the world? And the way I came about this business was with my business partner, Kenny. who's also my cousin and my family member. I just had finished graduating high school in 2011. And my god brother at the time, who was someone very close to me, passed away to suicide. And it was a hard time for me. And I was just graduating high school, trying to figure out what I was going to do, like asking myself those tough questions of, what do I really care about? What do I want to do? Who do I want to become? And seeing my cousin, Kenny, who was a quiet, chubby kid, he really wasn't into like being out there and promoting and things like that. But that was what I've known because I'm from New York. So I said he wanted to make music, but no one was supporting him. So I said, let me support him. Let me build with him. And basically, I started to make a brand and a business model around his music. So he was doing all the creative stuff, creating the logos, creating the music itself, recording it, writing it, making the designs for the merch. We created a clothing line, which was a T-shirt to go with his first album, as well as a sticker that had our logo on it. And we sold that bundle for $15. And we used Instagram and Facebook, taking pictures of all the people that were buying it and making it proliferate throughout the city. So in our own little town, we went kind of viral and sold over 150 bundles in less than 30 days. And that was really what showed us the power of digital media and what showed us the power of creativity and me and his brains, kind of like me on the business side and him on the creative side, working together and getting those results. And that just kind of started to snowball into hosting events, doing festivals, going across the country on tour, eventually getting our story on billboards and news channels, and essentially, being able to have his music played all over the world. And now we actually provide these services that we were doing for just ourselves to other small business owners out there. And we actually work with 7-8-figure businesses, helping them automate, scale, grow, and build an online infrastructure the same way we've been built.
So we've worked on a number of projects together, and one of the things that I hear there's different roles that you play. So you were like the hype and the marketing and the sales guy behind this, and he was the creative and the production side of it, and you worked together to create a business model and implement that business model using media.
Yep, you got it.
That's really cool. And the other thing that you touched on, and I think it's really an important, down to the core of your why, is this idea of using, especially in New York City and where you were, was how you made a conscious decision to focus on positivity. And really not let that that death that you experienced early cloud or influence this, but rather to make it something that you could grow from. Tell us a little bit about your thought process.
Well, that was actually a very tough and pivotal moment in my life. Like, I went through a lot of growth and a lot of different type of mental stability, I would say, in terms of I lost multiple people in a 3-year span. I lost my uncle, my godfather, and my god brother. And it was just a back-to-back type of trauma. And I didn't know how to cope with it. And what became of it was I wanted to leave a legacy, and I wanted to see how I can actually impact the world in a positive way, because I just remember getting the chills when someone would call me in the middle of the night and say, hey, this person just passed away, and I'm driving, 90 miles per hour to New York City to go see what's going on, and I'm already too late. And I just remember those feelings of wishing, damn, if they would have called me a week before or like the night before, like how I could have changed this impact, or they would have just came and been with me recording a song or doing something that's fun and not being in the streets or being in a situation that could have caused harm or stuff like that. That really just, I knew that I could have made a difference because they loved me so much. And these people that I personally knew were gone made me like not want to let anyone else go through that, not let anyone else be out there. And if they need a space to be able to create, to be able to let those expressions out, whether it's anger, whether it's happiness, whether it's sadness, whatever it is, it feels, that's why we created the studio space, because we want people to come in. It's like a creative gym where people will go, you need to be healthy fitness wise. So you go and work out and you do cardio, you do weights. Same thing works for your mind. If your mind is not being creatively expressed, is not being creatively challenged, you end up being stagnant and you end up not being able to grow, and you actually end up becoming depressed, becoming anxious, because you don't have outlets to actually allow you to reap the benefits of your creativity. So that's really the whole purpose of what we created the studio for, so people could get out there and let it all out, make videos, do podcasts, do different things, so that they can meet like-minded individuals and see that the world is not as closed as we may think.
So you've taken that, and now over 10 years, you've built a studio that has a production team that's all over the country, right?
Yep.
And when I met you, I walked into your studio, and your positivity and your drive and your ambition was just so front and center. And at the same time, a mutual friend of ours, Greg, one of our writers on the team here, who introduced us, had given you our book. And tell us a little bit about getting involved with Publio and what you saw and how we've grown this relationship over the last 2 years.
Yeah, so basically when me and Keith met, it was 2 years ago. I had already been doing entrepreneurship for like 8 years on my own, and me and my cousin been building this infrastructure, like I said, for our own dreams, but now we've been scaling and helping other businesses reach their goals and their online revenue streams and things of that nature. So it was a very pivotal moment because we had just opened up the new studio. This was actually our 4th studio that we opened up. And this is after trial and error. We made one studio that was just an audio recording for music. Then we made another studio that was just for photography and videography. Then we made another one that had like a little bit of all of it. And then the final version, which is the one that Keith saw, that's in Danbury, our headquarters, that's the one that had kind of like all of those elements, all the things that we learned from all those different spots into one location. And what was really pivotal when I met Greg, we were just starting out that location itself. And we were really trying to figure out how we were going to maximize the productivity and utilize it to our benefit for our business model. Because now we realized the content that we were shooting was very valuable, because we were always paying out before, as we were acquiring all these assets, the video cameras, the drones, the microphones, all that stuff. At the time, we used to pay $1,000 for a video, $1,000 for a podcast session or a recording session, or anything like that. And then what we decided to do is let's start buying it. And my cousin already knew how to engineer, how to do all these things. And let's start like just testing ourselves. And what the ROI calculator and everything that I learned from the new content culture, it really changed the way we were creating content. Before, we were creating content always on a documentary legacy play and thinking about it of like, I want to have this just so I could look back at it with Kenny and we could tell people we were going to do this, and we did it. Like, that was really like
now we've given you a publisher's MO, right? So we're teaching you to think like a publisher. And I walked in and there was my book on the counter, and you had like literally destroyed it.
Yep, I highlighted it. I did everything. What is this? All the ears on the
yeah.
And I was really like, I love the book because to me, it really broke down like all the stuff. Like my goal was always to be on a Steve Jobs, on a Walt Disney level of creativity and of impact in the world. And I didn't know how to kind of angle that or how to like position that in the way that I wanted it to be flowing. You know what I mean? And I had done all of this subconsciously when I was building Kenny's brand with the music, but it was really, really difficult to do it for myself and for the brand itself, now the business, because now it was both of our babies. When I was doing it just for Kenny, it was kind of like when I was doing it for a client. It wasn't as, right here on my chest. But then afterwards, when I sat down and I kind of really went through the book and thought about my North Star, thought about the direction, thought about how we're going to use those 7 buckets to get us aligned with what I really want to be doing and helping the world, but also with what can pay my bills and help me scale and grow my business. And I feel like that was when everything kind of shifted, because we started doing content in a different way. What do I mean by that? We started a podcast, both me and Kenny, and we started reaching out to people that we wanted to build relationships with and work with. This is how we got Keith on the podcast. We got Greg on the podcast. We got the Chamber of Commerce president on the podcast, and all of these different relationships, because again, people want to build relationships, especially with a CEO. So your great question was like, why a CEO should be doing this content. In the beginning, when I was just doing it, was just for the documentary purpose. But afterwards, I realized it could be a very lucrative opportunity for me, because now people want to sit down with me. I don't have to go out there and ask people and beg people to get on a call so I can show them a demo about what I do. They end up being and feeling privileged to be on my podcast, and they end up wanting to give me and ask me all the information on why they should buy from me. So now it ends
and then
up
we combine, and then we combine that dynamic of having your best customers and your best employees and your partners, right, as part of your mix, and then you put it on the network so others can see it and you distribute it, right? And
yep.
And we connect it into the funnels so that we can build a business. So in just summary, like, why do you need a content strategy? You're a CEO. Why do you need it?
Well, I would say that I need it because I want to make sure that all the money, the time, the resources, like people, equipment, and things like that I'm putting towards my marketing is actually generating sales, and is actually, like, each video, what is the actual value of it? You know what I mean? And I think that with the ROI calculator and with actually having a call to action at the end of each video and things of that nature, like using, principal digital marketing strategies, you end up creating digital assets or digital real estate that end up going out there and selling for you every day automatically. And now you create this podcast, and a year from now, it's still selling people. It's still getting people to click back to your website, to get back to your list, to build a relationship with, to get on a call, etc. So this is the way we leverage and use videos, podcasts, books. All of them are mini sales reps, mini digital doors out there in the digital real estate world that are giving you little bit of money. Every week, they're sending you 5 or 10 new customers for free, just for all that work that you put in that first time. And I feel like that's the main reason every CEO needs it, because they want to be able to multiply themselves. The hardest thing is to duplicate yourself. If you record a video, that duplicates you forever.
So I like to tell CEOs that there's a segment of your market, right? You have your whole market, there's a segment of your market, and then there's people within that segment that are buying on any given day. And that is always in flux. That's changing. So the media that you put out there is available for them to consume when they're ready. One of the reasons you need a content strategy is that process is happening 24/7. But we as a business and all our employees, we don't work 24/7. So we've got to figure out how to make a continuous flow process of customers coming by our business online with an asynchronous process where we have a production schedule and we don't take the CEO's vast amount of time, but we're able to do it in an efficient way and in a way that they can see the ROI from it because of those leads that are coming in. The other thing I also impress on CEOs and their sales team is that getting the media done is only going to result in, a 10 to 20% uplift in sales if you do it well. 80% of that is still the old-fashioned way of prospecting, getting involved with networks, getting involved with trade associations, becoming part of your community, however you define your market, right? You need to turn it into a community, and you have to have the tools and the processes to do that. So if you take a look at what we're doing and what you've been doing for years, who is your audience? What kind of people do you bring on as guests so that you build those relationships? Tell us a little bit about how you've been able to be a rock star in your media, and then how do you get people to be part of your show, and how do you get people to watch it? What's that whole dynamic like for you as a business person?
So this is a great question, and I think every business owner needs to think about this as they're developing their content strategy and their marketing online and everything like that. If you don't know who your target is, who your dream client is, you could end up creating a lot of stuff that you're not sure is going to get you the results that you want. So for us, for example, when we started off the podcast, we started off with a very strict mindset of, all right, business only concept. All right. Well, actually, we started a podcast even before the original one that you were on. We started another one before that one that was more just like me and Kenny talking about documenting our process every week, kind of type of stuff. But that one, we only did like 5 or 10 episodes on that one. And then we did the new one, which was the Profit Off Passion one, that we actually did like 25, 30 episodes with. And that one, we kind of went half and half. We weren't 100% sure on which way we wanted to go. And that was the clarity that I got after doing some episodes and learning my voice and learning the clients that I wanted to talk to. At first, we were talking to more business only, and we were interviewing all the business people in Danbury, things of that nature. And I had fun, but it also wasn't, I feel like I wasn't able to get as much passion and as much like trauma story, all that type of stuff, like that compelling part. So then we went all artists. And then that was just too much.
We had to rein it in a little bit.
Yeah, so then I found like a happy medium of like more of like community leaders, influencers, and people that have more than 20,000 followers. They kind of are more aware of like all the things that we've been building out, and they have a little bit of a business sense, but they're still very artistic, so we can actually go deep into the conversations. And that's kind of where we focus at now, is like
that's your sweet spot for a persona. A good customer for you has a business sense, but a willingness to get in the studio, be creative, work with their marketing team, and then back to the business sense to delegate it so that they can show up and be the talent.
Exactly. Yep.
So with that, that's kind of a good segue. I like to ask people, what is social media? How do you define it from a CEO's perspective?
I really like that. Well, to me, I feel like social media now is like what Chamber of Commerce meetings were 2 years ago, or what, you know, what is it? The morning group, the
This club.
Well, we have one here. I attend Stanford Business Network, but
yep.
Come on,
It's
guys.
like
Okay, research team, do your thing, Jesse.
Breakfast Club.
It's what the heck is the networking?
Every Wednesday morning they do the referrals, the leads, and all that.
This is where we're going to use post-production.
Business, like a breakfast club, we call it here.
Breakfast. Oh, okay. So in the Philippines, you call it the Breakfast Club.
Correct. Or the 6 a.m. club. They wake up at 6, show up at 8.
I like so, but yeah, like I feel like now social media has become the new Breakfast Club or the new community aspect, where now you're not so much having to go to that, you know, get dressed, go to the meeting, go all the way over there. Now you can actually be in a Zoom call with people. You could be on Instagram Live with people, Facebook Live, go into groups on Facebook or LinkedIn of like-minded people. So I like to be in there into like all my marketing software and things of that nature. So I'll go in there and actually like comment and answer questions, talk to people, ask questions. And all of these things is like-minded individuals that you're building relationships with that are passionate about the same things. So it really creates that. It feels like you're in that room with them. It feels like you're everyone's excited about the new class that's coming out on this thing, or on the new update that's coming out. And that kind of, everybody's hyping each other up, going on the same YouTube channels, going on, like really learning and being involved in your space and becoming an industry expert. I've studied and learned a lot through YouTube University. So just going through it and like seeing who everyone in the industry is talking about, it gives you that authority and that confidence. So when you create your content, now you know what you're talking about. You don't have no fear. You know what's going on. You got your finger on the pulse of the market. And that's really what I think social media is all about. It's really about, if you're a smart person, using social media not to be, you know, let's just say like bull crapping around out there. You want to be in a situation where you're actually using it to make money and using it to be profitable. Then you want to use it in this way of, how can I be around the same like-minded community, be around my target audience, build relationships, and get them back to build a long-term relationship and business relationship with me. Very cool.
So one of the things you just touched on lightly, but how we're working with your studio right now is, tomorrow I'm going into video our process and how we help customers, and we're turning it into a course. So not only can you do it to do outreach and build your network, but you can also make product, right? Because we're delivering our products virtually as well. Or if we're selling online, we can take the next step to not just close the deal, but then to build things for our customers that are video based as well, right? So we're building a training course to help our clients where we can't get them all in a room for a workshop, or maybe there's two or three companies we want to put together in a cohort. So now they have a workshop where they're feeding off each other's energy, right? Versus a custom bespoke workshop for a company that has a team of 6, for example. So there's lots of things that we can do with social media that may be down for a network of just 6 people.
Mm-hmm. I love that. And just that comes back to what we were saying with the digital real estate part, like your courses, those will become training for your employees, become training for your partners, for clients, on how to work with you, how to go through your process, as well as, I like to call it like they're educating themselves on why they should buy. So they're buying a low ticket offer so that they're able to understand why they need the high ticket offer. And that it's the same process I went through. Any expert, anybody who is learning in their industry, they have to learn how to buy. You don't buy $1 million business or $1 million real estate deal on your first deal. You're going through it, you're reading the books, you're reading the courses, you're paying for that education so that you have the confidence inside of you to take out that $1 million and get that loan and buy that building. Same concept works online. You got to build confidence. Like, we've been able to build enough industry knowledge where we're actually able to do merch and do different type of real life products even through the digital world, and automate all of that. So that's really at the highest level when you start to actually take advantage of digital media, how you can actually automate away all of these things,
Well, that's really gets down to the value of having a strategy and a plan, right? That you don't sit down and start filming and then go figure out what you're going to do. We have tools in the publisher's MO that allow you to sit down, work it through with your team, understand how your vision, mission, and values fit into your media, and then help grow your content strategy based on what makes your company special and unique and adds value to your customers, because that's what your vision is. We're going to wrap it up here, but there's just one last question. Keep it short. How do you do social media? How do you get started? You're a CEO. How would you advise a CEO that's never done this?
I would say have no fear. Make it as like documentary as possible. So just shooting day to day what you're doing, what you're going through. Don't overthink it, because most people kill themselves because they think that social media is like TV and that they have to make some high-end production and make it $1 million commercial. No, just shoot it on your iPhone, get going. And by the 50th time you do it, that's when you'll start actually feeling like, okay, I'm ready to spend some real money on this, get myself more like a bigger equipment, things of that nature. So I would say just start documenting and worry about, creating a commercial and a big brand later on. But first find your voice and just get comfortable. That's what these platforms are for. Practice.
So have a plan and then dive in and adjust. It's like the old, I think it was Eisenhower who said, it was Mike Tyson, when, all the planning and training and efforts that you've done, go out the window when you get punched in the face.
Yep, exactly.
I think Eisenhower said it's something when the shooting starts. But anyways, we really appreciate you coming on. We have partners and we have customers, and we look at, we welcome you to our first podcast, and we look forward to doing many more and having you pop in as a guest. I think the other really cool thing is that you've been able to, expand from Danbury, use this vision, use the planning tools, and land in Atlanta. And now you're really killing it down there. So congratulations.
Yep. And it comes back to just having a clear story and being able to articulate that. And if you have a plan and a strategy, the same things you're using online become useful, like he said, in trade associations, in the community. So my plan is to just keep executing, keep working with the guru, Keith Reynolds over here on the Publio team, and keep getting amazing results. So if anybody out there has any questions and needs any type of clearance on something, hit me up and let me know. I will be happy to let you guys know what my experience of working with him is. And it's incredible. And just the amount of knowledge and wisdom that comes from this team, from Keith, from everybody on the team is priceless. So I would just say, get on a call, talk to them, and figure out what your content plan is. All right.
That's right. Get a content strategy, get your team on board, and know your ROI model.
Yep.
All righty. Well, thanks a lot, Jesse.
Where can people find you, Chris, on social media and websites?
Yep. Thank you very much. You can find me at www.idaydreamstudios.com. That's idaydreamstudios with a s.com. And then that's my website for my business. You can get a consultation there, as well as if you want to find me on Instagram, I'm Mr. Grow Your Business _. That's Mr. Grow Your Business _
That all you right? Are, my friend. That you are. All right. Well, thank you, Lorna and Jesse, for helping put this together. Looking forward to doing many more. We've got the So What for CEOs on social media, and help you get your strategy together so you can go forward with confidence. Thank you.
Thank you, guys.
Bye, everybody.
All right. Thanks for joining us for this episode of the Publio podcast. We've enjoyed having you part of our show. If you like what you hear, please like, share, and comment across social media and below. You can also subscribe to our YouTube channel and find us on Instagram, Twitter, LinkedIn, Facebook, and all of those by searching for Publio. If you are interested in taking our course, please check us out. If your business is in need of a content strategy, we've got a program for you. It's a fully interactive course with worksheets and workbooks and videos, and we'd love to have you be part of the class, and you can always join us for office hours or make one-on-one appointments as well. So check us out at Publio, PUBLI.io on the web, and we'll see you next time. Thanks.